Hey guys, happy Friday. This is starting to become a regular thing where I go on live and invite someone special. I mean, everyone's special, I believe that. But I invite someone that I know or I'm trying to get to know and essentially share with you their wins, their moments when they were, faced with something difficult. Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. So the point is, Peter is going to be joining us in a bit. He decided to create an account just so he can go live with all of us. So Peter, when you're here, just message. I'm not sure what your account is. Hey Pavel, how are you, bud? Happy Friday! Happy Friday! Happy Friday, guys! Thank you so much for joining. The point of this is what is this? A video cast, I guess it would be. But the point of this is just to spread some belonging, spread some love, get to know other people and how they're trying to win in this time of difficulty, right? The coronavirus is a reality, but I keep saying, hey guys, happy Friday. I keep saying that it doesn't have to be all of our reality, right? So definitely one of the things I'm avoiding is I don't check the news more than once a day, right? So I check it once a day. I know what's happening. I know what's happening around the city, and I move on. I focus on what I can control and what I can kind of grow in. I don't know if that makes sense. So where's the guitar? So there's a guitar in the corner there. I just put in. So it was a half an hour yesterday I put in. And then after this, I'm gonna be putting in another half an hour to learn to play guitar. But anyway, the point is that I don't want to feel powerless. And the easy way to do that is when you're only watching all the horrible and awful things that are happening, all the difficult things that are happening, even simple things like on Facebook. Like I'm paying attention that I'm not focusing on the little articles people are posting about the lack of toilet paper or whatever it is. I know the reality. I felt the reality today. I went shopping today and I'm like, okay, I have an hour to go shopping. I can get some food. And I go in there, there's this massive lineup with the lineup where people are 6 feet apart. And so it just goes far, far, far. And I'm like, you know what? I got some eggs at home, whatever. I'll make some time tomorrow. So anyway, a point of this video is to spread some love. I'm not sure if Peter is already here, but you know what? I'm going to invite Pavel. Pavel, bud, why don't you join me? Let's start talking. You know what? We're going to make the most of this. All right, waiting for Pavel. Let's see if he's going to be adventurous enough to join. Yes, hopefully fully dressed. Yes, we got to keep this PG-13. Oh, by the way, total side note, I love green tea. I love green tea because it helps with digestion. So right now, thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. And you spelled my name correctly. That's a bonus point. Anyway, I love green tea because it helps with digestion. I don't know if you know this, but if you eat a lot of fatty foods or oily foods. So right now I'm on the keto diet. It's a lot of avocado, a lot of peanut butter, just a lot of high fat. It's a high fat diet. So with that, I drink the green tea. It actually helps with digestion. Not fully sorry. Not fully sorry. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, but not fully happy. Not sure. Not sure what you mean, but anyway. So I love my green tea. If you not a position to go live. Not a position to go. Are you in the washroom right now, Pavel? Okay, whatever. Let's not talk about this. Moving on. So anyway, so I'm actually opening it right now. I don't know where Peter is, but it doesn't really matter. I wanna bring you guys some value. So I'm gonna invite someone else on. I want to hear your experience with what's going on. How has the coronavirus affected you, and more importantly, not infected, maybe infected, but affected you, and more importantly, so let's go with Tracie. Tracie's sending some love. Let's see, Tracie wants to join. So we're waiting for Tracie, but oh, this is so good. Anyway, so I have the great fortune of having some great people around who are instructors and volunteers and helpers. And Tracie's going on. Tracie, hey, beautiful.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing spectacular. You're always smiling, shining bright.
That's my job.
That's your job. What is your so okay? Background is Tracie. Tracie's one of our students. She's a beautiful human being. Honestly, every time you're in class, there's always more energy and laughter and joy and light in that environment. Of
Thank
course,
you.
of course. So Tracie, you said that's your job. What is that? What do you do? I mean, I don't know if you do anything right now, but what?
I'm actually an income tax accountant.
Wow. So okay, awesome. So right
I've
now,
been working from home
yes.
for 2 weeks.
So you've been working from home for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, right now,
Completely isolated.
actually, you know what? Let's start with the first thing. Like, you can actually give some advice. So right now, from what I understand, things are being postponed, right? Taxes and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So people have a couple more weeks, basically, at least.
You have another month.
Another month. Okay. So
Yeah. It's usually April 30th.
Okay.
Right now it's June 1st.
June 1st. Okay, so people have more time. They have a month. But honestly, like, now is the best time to go through your taxes. You have so much time on your hands.
Me too.
Right? So, like...
And I've got the staff ready to work.
Gang, so you need an accountant. Boom. Reach out to her. She'll take care of it.
Absolutely.
Right? Actually...
Find somebody.
Okay, I'll be... okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to show you. So I'm trying to get ahead of all this. So I'm going to show you. This is the side that you don't get to see. So I don't know if you can see all these organized, semi-organized bags, plastic bags of receipts. I haven't shown that side, but that's right now me staying ahead. So my goal is by mid next week to get all my receipts, everything in order, so that I get ahead of this. So June, I'm having fun. April, I'm having fun.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the daily phone calls from my staff to just make them laugh.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's amazing.
So I try my best to crack jokes.
So how are you doing with you being at home for 2 weeks now? How are you processing all this?
You know what? My staff is great.
Okay.
My coworkers and I have a call every day. 5 o'clock, we just talk girl stuff.
Nice. Okay.
Nothing about work. We just talk about life.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Are you able to see? Are you like isolating from your family as well? Like, you're solo right now. What's your?
Yeah, my parents are 3 hours away. My brother's at the other end of the province, so it's just me and my condo.
All right, so just like me, solo living.
Exactly.
So how are you, like, okay, so in this time of kind of uncertainty, how are you keeping the light lit? What are you focusing on? How are you doing it?
You know, I actually started a diet just before all of this.
Okay.
So I'm really focused on healthy eating.
Okay.
And I'm at home, so it's really easy.
Okay.
Again, I've got my coworkers every day to talk to. So I'm not really isolated. But I don't see people on a regular basis. So.
What inspired it? What inspired you? You said a couple weeks ago before it to go and do this healthy eating thing.
My cousin bribed me to join Weight Watchers with her.
Okay.
But it's actually great because there's so much junk food in our office, but there's nothing at my house.
Right. Okay.
And with work, it's just, we are so busy.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of gets me up and gets me moving during the day.
Oh, that's beautiful. So what is?
And then at night,
Mm-hmm.
I try to catch Alex's salsa classes, and I keep missing them.
No! You know what? I gotta give people a heads up. You know what? Right now, calling me out. It's true. I just gotta I gotta give people enough time. So I'm gonna decide right now. When we do our salsa workshop this weekend. So what do I got? I got a video call tomorrow at 3:30. You know what? So tomorrow is today Friday? Today's Friday.
Today's Friday.
All right. So happy Friday, by the way, again, in person. So why don't we do this? So gang, if you're watching this or you're gonna watch some other point, so we're gonna do it on Saturday, what is it, March 28th? Saturday, March 28th, we are going to do a Salsa Shine workshop at 6 p.m.
Fantastic.
6 p.m. I'm gonna put it in my calendar. Boom, it's set. Thank you for this. I'm sure many people are gonna thank you for it. And so Salsa Shine workshop. All right. Save 6 to 7.
Thanks for calling me out by the way.
Calling you out on the what?
Bringing me on a call I knew nothing about.
Oh no, my pleasure. Thank you for taking the courage to come on. I think you're a great person to be on with me.
I just looked at the phone and it said live Instagram.
Boom.
So I went, oh, Alex must be on.
Yeah.
I'm still eating dinner.
Awesome. So what's
Never
your
mind to everybody.
what's been
Hi,
so
everyone.
what's been your it's been what 3 weeks now with Weight Watchers or what has it been?
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. And okay, so for the first thing is this. Going into it, how are you feeling about it? Besides the fact that you were peer pressured into it.
I needed to do it and I was ready to do it.
Why? Why now? Why now? Not a year or 2 years or 3 years ago. Why now?
I actually did it a few years ago.
Okay.
Went through a really rough patch. Put it back on.
Right.
Got some not so great health news.
Okay.
Back on the diet.
So it's been a bit of a scare then, eh? Some kind of
Yeah.
some real health news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing serious can be fixed.
It can be fixed. That's amazing.
Can be fixed.
So I mean, I think the lesson
Then
always
wait.
is like, for most things, it's not too late. For most things, it's not too late. You know, when you start dancing,
Exactly.
whether you start at 8 years old, 30, whatever your age is, you start dancing, you start it. Yeah, you just got to start it.
Take it in. Go.
Pick it up. Awesome.
Yeah.
So why do you, so, you know, and I can relate to this because about
Yeah.
2-3 years ago, I mean, you remember the story, right? Like I lost a ton of weight and then I gained it all back. And so how can you make sure that this time it will stick? Like, do you have well, first of all, is there a number or what's the goal? Is there something you're trying to hit? Like a size,
There's a
whatever.
goal.
Okay, what's the goal?
The goal is 40 pounds.
40 pounds dropping.
40 pounds dropping.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, great. And so now the bigger thing is, what, you know, how are you going to make sure that this time it sticks?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah? You mean both?
I don't know yet.
Okay, fair enough.
I think failing once has given me a little more motivation to keep it going.
Okay.
Yeah, so far so good.
Awesome.
One day at a time.
Yeah. And so, since 3 weeks ago, how have you been progressing towards it? Have you lost a little bit yet or not yet? What's going on?
You know what? I hit 5 pounds this week.
Ah, high five. Boom.
High five!
Awesome. So proud of you. Amazing. Okay. How do you feel about that?
I feel great,
Okay.
and I know I did have a big bump because it was so stressful just to start working from home.
Right.
So it kind of slowed down the progress a bit.
Right.
I cheated.
Okay. When did you cheat?
Cookie dough.
Cookie dough? When?
Oh, last week?
Last week. Okay. Did you? And how fast after the cookie dough did you get back on?
Oh, I had the cookie dough one night, back on the next.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I'm really pushing for it. And having my cousin, being accountable to my cousin is really helping.
Very important. Very
And
important.
you guys too.
Ah, of course. Well, all of them that are hearing this now, you're announcing it to,
I know. You're all
Right.
hearing it.
right? Amazing.
I'm a very sharing person.
Sharing is caring.
Is Pavel ready yet?
No, this is amazing. I'm having such a great time. You're doing great, right? Guys, give her some love. Give her some love right now. There's the hearts. There's the heart. I'm seeing hearts, right? Pop up. So what do you? So I mean, I think for me the when I was able to lose the weight, just like you probably 2-3 years ago, like the thing that gave me confidence is I did it once, I can do it again.
Exactly.
Right? And so I think like with smoking, I don't know if smoking was a thing for you, but smoking for me, I smoked for years and I quit a bunch of times. And then I came back. So I knew I could quit. Yeah, Pavel. And Pavel's story is like he lost like Pavel, what, 50 pounds? Some crazy amount. Yeah. I think it was like 40-50 pounds he lost. Yeah. So he did keto. It's one of the things we talked about. He did keto. I'm not sure if he did calorie restrictions. A lot of love, a lot of hearts you're getting. That's amazing. So, anyway, so
I feel love.
yeah, of course. So it's repeatable. So so for anyone who wants to start to be more healthy, what's a tip that you can give them?
Kind of, you know what?
Mm.
With me, potatoes
Okay.
had to go.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the hard part.
So chips, all that stuff?
Gone.
Yeah.
All of them.
No baked potatoes either?
No baked potatoes, no rice, no starch.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And that made a difference for you?
You know what? The real thing is just figure out what works for you
Mm-hmm.
and dedicate to it. Just like dancing. You got to dedicate to get good at it. Same with healthy eating.
100%. And I love that because right now is the easiest time to be like, well, things are crazy. I'm going to excuse myself. I'm not going to do the diet. Where now is...
I went the other way.
Interesting. Why do you think that is?
I'm at home. I can cook every day.
Yeah.
I can make healthy meals.
Right.
I have no junk in my house. Somebody else stock up on it. I don't need it.
That's beautiful. I mean I think one great thing you said is there is no one shoe, there's no one size.
There isn't.
There's so many different ways, and so I think one of the things when people were asking me about, oh my gosh, how did you lose the weight and all this stuff, and I'm trying to lose more weight right now, but I always say the most important thing is the why important enough for you? Like,
yes.
The why has to drive it because the answers are there. There's many ways to do it. Like my mom, she was doing she was doing intermittent fasting. She's like, oh my God, you lost all this weight. I want to lose a couple kilograms. And so I was like, okay, just do fasting. Do 6 hours every day fasting. And she did, and she dropped a bunch of weight. But it's the consistency and sticking with it.
Yes.
And so for the people who are like, well, listen, I'm so... Because like you had the cookie dough moment. Cookie dough moment, right? Now, how did how did the cookie dough moment happen? Leading up to it.
I think I just started working from home.
Okay.
They closed our office, so everybody's working from home. So it was that adjusting period and realizing I'm going to be alone for a long time. I'm not going to see anybody for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That was hard. And I'm sure everybody went through that moment too. But, oh, wait, we can't go out. We can't do our stuff anymore. When you had to close the studio. I mean, it was really hard for you.
Yep.
And by the way, I do appreciate it though. Because if not, I'd be sitting there going, do I go to class? Do I stay safe? Do I go to class?
I know.
So, yeah, it was tough. But that was it. And then I kind of refocused and realized, yes, this is my new reality for now. It's all our new reality for now. Do what I can. I've got the time. And a little evil voice in my head said, when you go back to work, you're going to look fabulous. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to take care of me. I've got all the time to do it right now.
And so when you were eating that first spoon, that second, I could see your face. Your eyes are rolling so high.
Yeah.
By the way, I've never had cookie dough on its own. Like I've never had raw cookie dough. I've only had raw cookie dough ice cream. Never had raw cookie dough. So once I reach my weight goal, definitely something I want to try because it's okay. It's such a North American thing.
Yes.
It's a very North American thing, cookie dough.
Yep.
So anyway, so let me ask you this: so you had that first spoon, second spoon. All right, be straight. Did you finish the whole package? How was it? The whole package?
I made it from scratch. Whole pack.
Whole pack. Okay.
The whole batch.
And so, after you finished it or during, did you have like a small voice in your head telling you anything, or when you were eating in that moment, you're like, "This is amazing."
I had this is amazing. I'm gonna pay for this.
Okay.
But I was willing to accept it then.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, fine. Move on.
So let me ask you this.
Accept.
Like,
How to explain?
Sorry.
Accept the fall.
Yeah.
Get back up.
Right. And I think that's so important because I've slipped up a bunch of times when I would smoke and go on and off. And my diet, like 2 a.m., I drive to McDonald's and sit in the parking lot for 20 minutes. I'm like, Alex, don't go in, don't go in. And I'd walk in and I'd walk out in shame with like, 2 double cheeseburgers, a Big Mac, 6 McNuggets, fries, a Coke, and just like go way overboard. Because sometimes when you open that can, you overcompensate. So this is, I think, the important part for anyone to understand of what you did, which is subtle but important. It's like, it's happening. You're in the wrong. Accept you're in the wrong, but don't push yourself down.
Right.
As long as you're aware, and fix it as soon as you can and course correct. And as long as you course correct, or at least for me, my thing has been shame. And like, I'll go into a shame spiral 3-4 days where I eat junk food and crap and all this stuff. That used to be the old Alex, right? And because it's so easy, where it's like, well, I already had a pizza. Well, I already had a Coke. Well, I already had this, right?
What's another cookie?
What's another cookie? What's another spoonful?
Exactly.
What's another spoonful? And hey, welcome guys. And so for anyone watching, whatever it is, maybe it's fitness, maybe it's getting work done that you need to get done. It's like, you're like, I should be being productive right now. I should be doing this. And that should can sometimes overwhelm you and paralyze you.
Oh yeah.
Right?
But accept it.
And
how am I going to do better?
Yes, and then get back on the horse. Get it course corrected as soon as you can. Because the thing that builds the most confidence and gives you a sense of self-worth is action.
Yes.
Massive action leads to massive change. And so as soon as you get back on, as soon as you're like, no, right now, good diet, drinking water, whatever your thing is, fitness, whatever it is, work, you get back on.
Yeah. Get back on. And move forward. As long as you're going forward. You don't have to do it fast. Just go forward.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm the little turtle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's me.
But you're gonna beat the hare. The hare? Hare. The rabbit. That's a weird thing to say, hare. Like rabbit. Rabbit is easier. But are hares and rabbits different or the same? Total side note.
They're the same family but slightly different.
Oh, they are slightly different. Oh, okay. Go.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll take your word for it. All right.
I think hares are a bit bigger.
Oh, okay.
Somebody Google that.
Tortoise and hare. Tortoise and... Yeah.
Tortoise and hare.
Hare and tortoise. Something like that, right? That's a children's book.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about dance now. What made you get into dance in the first place? Oh. I love the eye roll.
Alex.
Come on.
Why am I sharing this with everybody?
Why not? Go.
Okay. I went through a really, really rough patch. Out of the blue, my boyfriend of 5 years left me.
Good.
I spiraled into depression. I mean, spiraled really bad. 2 months off work. Couldn't function. Spent the next year working my way out of it. So somebody started saying, you have to rebuild your social life. Your whole life was him. You got to rebuild your life and what you want. So what are things you want to do? So I started picking away at them. Axe throwing, kickboxing, stuff like that. And then one day I said, I've always wanted to do salsa. So my job was to research salsa studios. So I looked. I live at Young and Finn. So you guys are right there. And you were starting the level 1 a week after I looked. So instead of just researching, I signed right up. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. And that was in August. And I've been going ever since.
Yeah.
But that's how I started.
Wow.
And then we met that nice little group that started that WhatsApp group. We started going to the socials together. And have you seen the WhatsApp group?
No, I haven't. I'm getting added occasionally to different WhatsApp groups, and it gets sometimes overwhelming for me because there's like GIFs and videos and stuff, and then I don't check my phone, and it's like 30, 40 messages I missed in the last hour. But I know how amazing it is when you have a group that you can connect with, relate, go out to dance with. I went through that phase
Yeah.
when I was a student.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your
and
tribe.
with your class on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
so we have the group that we dance Sunday in your class, then we go for dinner, then we come back to social.
That's right.
So we
Sundays.
got that whole little group. Look at all those hearts.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of love, of course.
Yeah, so great people. I was telling our friend Mona,
Okay.
the one that moved to Dubai. So I was telling her one time, I started salsa for fun, but I found a family. And that's what you guys are to me.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Yeah, and you don't know how much it means to us. And I kind of like that you are now going to have classes on a regular basis.
Okay. Yep.
Because I keep missing them as soon as everybody else. We're just waiting for them, Alex.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for them too. I'm waiting for them too.
Even the online classes, that's amazing.
Oh, thank you for that. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm actually, I figured out a way to save them now, so I'm actually gonna be posting all of them on our YouTube channel and on Instagram, so people who miss it can actually still get to watch and learn.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So yesterday's I was able to save the bachata one, Tina Turner. What's Love Got to Do with It? And so I'm gonna keep running them and saving them. So people, even if you can't make it, you're gonna be able to definitely still learn it. And it's, you know what? To be honest, for me, it's also a thing that is uncomfortable still. I keep saying this.
It's weird.
I know it's still, I feel really insecure about it. So I always, well, not always, but last 3-4 years, I'm leaning into insecurity. And if it's uncomfortable, go and do it, because the growth is on the other side. The freedom is on the other side, right? Past that fear.
I think if it wasn't for my Google chats at work, I wouldn't have picked up your call tonight. Video chatting is weird for me.
This is, but look at this. Look how much love you're getting. Come on, this is amazing, right? It's just another step.
It is. It's great.
So let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you. You when you were going through that period, right? When your boyfriend left and you were going through that dark period, and, coming out of it, would you have done that process any different, or could you have used help in a way, the way that you weren't necessarily offered that you could have used?
You know what? I knew I needed help.
Okay.
So I went and got it.
Okay.
I did seek professional help. But they got me back where I am. And I feel amazing. And like I said, I've got this whole family of friends now.
Yeah.
So I've got my social life back.
And I think one of the things that's shifted, even from my time when I was university, if I look at social media and I look at mental health in general of any kind, we become much more open about it, about seeking help. And I think, as a message to anyone, even like rates of depression are going to go up with the coronavirus. People are being isolated, right? And so leaning into either professional help. Listen, those are the salsa skills. You caught that phone. Leaning into professionals, or even your friends and family, and doing phone calls.
Yeah. Because
if you look at, this is going extreme, but if you look at people who are in prison, one of the worst punishments is isolation. You get put in a room for 20, 30 days with no contact. Food is just served through a tray, and you can go insane from that.
I believe it. If anyone on the call wants to talk, just call me.
Boom. So there you go.
Text me something.
Yes.
I've been through it. I'm willing to open up about it. I'll talk about it. My therapists are amazing. They're even doing video consultations right now. If anyone needs references, I'm not saying everybody does, but if you do, and I can keep my mouth shut once in a while.
Listening is the hardest part.
It is. And knowing you need the help and getting it is the hard part too.
Yeah.
Once you make that step, and again, dedicate yourself to it, things just turn so much better. It's not a smooth ride. There are bumps along the way, but again, moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You said something interesting. You said, all my focus was on him. My whole life revolved around him.
Well, when you're a couple,
yeah,
you have a life.
Yeah.
And,
together.
When you split, who do you hang out with now?
Yeah.
And in that time we were together, all my friends got married, had kids. They've moved on different lives. So finding people kind of on their own, I guess,
yeah,
was hard. Because you're surrounded by all these other couples with kids, and like I said, it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I go to salsa, and there's all these other people doing it alone, and it was great. I mean, yeah, some of them are married, and their husbands don't come.
Sure.
Or their wives don't come.
Sure.
Or they're out there for the love of it, and you have done an amazing thing. Your studio and what you have done is fantastic. Honestly, I think it saved my life. It was the turning point from mediocre to back to Tracie. This was it. Just getting out there, meeting people. You and Christy are amazing. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
And I know lots of people feel this way.
That means...
Otherwise, you would have this many people on the call listening to it.
That's true. That is true. Oh, thank you. I went through that transformation too. So, that's why I decided to take over and to make this my home, because I have such a strong attachment to this being a place where I evolved and I made friends, and I felt like I belong and accepted, right? Over the years. So I'm glad you get to experience that, and it's so amazing to see the generations, right? Like every 3 to 6 months there's a new generation of students, and they create their little posses, and then they dance, and some of them pair up and start dating, and some of them just keep hanging out, right? And then it grows, and so I've seen so many generations, right? Like every 6 months of new students. And one of the things I think is amazing about your story is, and thank you for sharing and thank you for being open, is...
Do you know how long I wanted to tell you this? I didn't want to share it with everyone,
but listen, this is
it's out there now.
But listen, I'll tell you something. So one of the most beautiful things about this, and I mean, this is why I share the stories in class, right? Why I talk about myself, and I think at the core of belonging is self-acceptance. Belonging is self-acceptance, and part of self-acceptance is, I think when you go through pain, when you go through depression, when you go through shame and all that stuff, pain itself is such a personal thing. Like, you cut your finger, and I talk about this recently, especially a lot right now, but it's very personal. When you get a cut, I'm in pain, and it's me. And part of that, unfortunately, is a sense of, I wouldn't say self-pity, but sort of, nobody can understand this in this moment. And so it's not intentional, but that's the sort of the outcome. I cut my finger, your finger isn't cut. Well, I know you've cut your finger at some point, but I'm going through this now. And is that now I'm going through it? And I think what's amazing about you going through this, which, there's the unique experience of, I went through this breakup, I went through this thing, I sought help, but it's also like so many people have gone through it. And I think part of what I want to do at TDS, and I hope you felt that on some level, and I think everybody should understand, is when you're vulnerable like you are right now, what you're doing is reminding really other people by being brave in this moment, that they're not the only one. Because I'm sure everybody can relate to going through a horrible breakup or losing someone or something important that they identified and revolved their whole life around it. So building on that, my next thing to you to ask is, how would you approach a relationship different now? Coming out on this side and building this circle, would you, because the reality also is you're going to meet
Yes.
someone at TDS. Like, there's such a high percent. If you haven't already, I don't know what your circumstance is, but if you haven't already, chances are high we've made so many marriages and kids happen. Well, you know what I mean, like.
I believe it.
but like great friendships, right? Partnerships, amazing stuff. So coming out of it, and because you said something that I think people missed. You said there are people who are in relationships, who are married, but they go out and we are all dancing together.
Yes.
Right? So looking at how, having, because when you live with someone, when you share a life with someone, you share it.
Yes.
And yet I think that there's a difference between sharing a part and all of you are that. If you know what I mean. That your whole identity is based on your relationship.
Yes.
Or that's a beautiful extension, but that's not all of you.
Correct. Yeah.
Because you said, like, they're married people, we are dancing together, we're having a great time, and they're my friends, and I connect with them, and we chat.
They're fantastic.
Right? And so...
They know who they are.
How would you approach, if you would, your next relationship, if you're not already in it?
Yeah, that's a big question mark. Because I keep thinking it would be so great to have a regular dance partner.
Yep.
But at the same time, I'm like, I want my family to be mine. I want to show you guys you're awesome, but I don't want to lose you because of a relationship if it goes bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah.
If anybody has any advice, let me know.
I got advice for you on that right now.
Awesome.
So
Make them go to another studio?
No. No. So I'll be honest. When I first, so I mean, I share this in my classes, but I was engaged, right? So I met when I was a helper. When I was a helper, I met a girl on the dance floor. She was a student. We fell in love. She was the first girl I moved in with. We were together for 5 years. We were supposed to get married. All the stuff. She's a beautiful human being. Our vows didn't match. It didn't work out. Whatever. But the hard part for me was, by the time that we kind of got to the end of our relationship, she was training to be an instructor at TDS. I was an instructor at this point. Just became a director, and like all her friends were my friends. We had the same people. Everybody knew us. Whenever they would see her and they wouldn't see me, they'd be like, "Oh, is everything okay? Where's Alex?" Right? Like they saw us together. And so coming out of that, I remember that it was hard because like that episode of Friends, it's like, who's gonna take Joey? Who's gonna take Chandler? Like, how are we splitting these people up? Right? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I got out of it, my biggest thing was, you know what? I think it's a bad idea to date someone in dance, to go through that again, and to go through kind of dividing who gets Joey, who gets Chandler, Monica, Rachel, right? Like, just that. Coming out of it further, and now being in several relationships after that, and looking back on it, and even now, I have to say that it's crazy to think that I would ever want to date someone who doesn't dance. Now, I do want to... I want to make this very clear. For me, my circumstance is very unique, and dance, as beautiful as it is, for most people, not that it's a bad thing, but, when you first start dancing, unless you go into being an instructor or volunteering or whatever, at some point, your life focus will change. You'll get new hobbies. So in 2 or 3 years, it won't be number 1. It may be number 4 or 5 for most people. For me, I run a school. So for me, like, having a partner who doesn't dance will just hurt me because, like, my partner's at home and I'm here social dancing. And so for me, I'd want to share that with a partner. So I do want to make that caveat. To make a judgment that, oh, we can't date because you don't dance, you got to be really, really careful with that. But going back to this conversation, your question, it's like, I would love to dance with someone, maybe have something amazing happen, but at the same time, I don't want to give up this thing I've built because it's so precious to me.
It is.
And so this was, so this is where I came from. I'm like, it's incredibly precious and I don't have to lose it. as long as I feel that I am in control of it still. And so for me,
Okay.
right, like, why not share something beautiful with someone else who'd want to treasure it? Like, what I've learned is nobody can take dance away from me because dance is in me. And my friends are my friends. And if my friends want, if the girlfriend I'm with or whoever your partner is wants to be part of that, amazing. If they don't, okay, that's fine too. But like, I have learned many times in my life, unfortunately, when I got burnt or I was hurt, that the lesson is, well, don't reach out. Like, like, like you touch the stove, you get burnt by the stove, and you're like, no, okay, the lesson is don't reach out. And that's where people, unfortunately, when they get hurt in a relationship or any kind of hurt, their lesson isn't, I need to make better decisions. Their lesson is, I shouldn't be vulnerable. I shouldn't reach out. I shouldn't share myself and this thing. And then they close off into the world and they go to a dark spiral and then they walk away with the poor lesson. And so, no, I think the great thing is to share with someone that gift. I think the important thing is you want to pick partners who match your values. And I think if I look at my relationships, as I got to know myself better, as long as I pick partners who kind of understand me and my values, even at the worst, if we break up, we still both walk away happy people. We still love ourselves. We still respect each other. And so that's more of a quality of a partner that I would pick. Right? Versus, oh no, I brought them into the dance world. Now people know that we're dancing and all this stuff. Because the reality is, it's funny, like, the people I spend time with would never even have a conversation of, spreading rumors or being negative. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right? It's a little bit over the place, but I do want to say that sharing dance with someone is incredible. And if it doesn't work out, the lesson isn't, I shouldn't share this thing that I love with someone special. No, I should have. If it gets to the point where it's like it turns out poorly, they treated you like crap, whatever it is, the lesson is I should have picked a better partner who loves and respects me and wants the best for me. The lesson isn't, don't share the thing that gives me light. Not that there's anything wrong with having your own space, which is the second part of this. I think part of that thing is not to say, hey, you don't belong here, but hey, you are part of my life, but you're not all of my life. And I want you to have things you are passionate about as much as me. I think having a partner in my life, whoever I meet, who is passionate and driven and looks to grow themselves makes me more proud to be with them. Because if I am their, I think it was Will Smith said, you can't make someone happy, but you can make them smile.
True.
And at the core of it, it's this idea that it's all of our responsibilities to make ourselves happy. And so if we put all of the responsibility on another person to make us feel fulfilled, one is they'll always fail us. Two, if they leave, then all of our self-worth and identity and who we are, all of that leaves with them, where full circle, a year and a half later, as you come out of it through therapy and hard work and all that, you realize, no, it was all in me. I just stopped letting it out.
Yes, I agree. You are so insightful.
Oh, thank you. But that's the important lesson. So I think for those of you who are watching who are dancers, right? No, the lesson isn't, no, I shouldn't date dancers. That's a stupid lesson. It's a stupid lesson. It's a stupid lesson because now hold on. Now, and this part is important. Like, if dancing is an important thing and you want to share, awesome. If you're the type of person who says, I just want a partner who supports me in dance, but I don't care if they dance, awesome. Then know that, then that's all you need.
Yes.
Right? Like, so
I see what you're saying.
Actually, one of the things that with a great friend and my mentor, Evan, we came up with, so I remember the day of when it finally clicked, I shouldn't be with my partner or the long-term relationship. We created this little thing, and I want to share with you and anyone else because it was super useful to me. And I'm going to kind of have to draw it. And where's a pen when you need one? All right, here. So the way that it works is it works like this. So I'm gonna draw a line. Now you can't see it yet. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Oh my gosh. Wait. Oh, it's gonna fall over. Wait. Can you see it? Oh wait, no. Wait, I can just turn the camera. Here. Can you see this? Boom. Boom. Look at this. Okay. So this is a way to measure what you really need.
Off center there.
What's off? You know what? Listen. Here. Is that better?
That's better.
Okay. So here you have against. So I'm going to write. Now, excuse my, I was going to say French, but spelling, because I can't spell really well. Against. Bear. Support. And cheerleader. I think that's how I spell cheerleader.
Close enough.
/ participate. Is cheer CHEAR?
No, E.
Oh, it is E. CHEERLEADER? Cheerleader.
Yes.
Oh, okay, close. Then it was right. Girl, close.
You're right.
All right, and participate. Okay, so this is the thing.
Okay.
Everybody's flexible on most things, and what you need to know is where you draw the line, what your standards are. So here's a challenge for you. Right now, we're going to do this. You're going to list for me 3 things that you can bend but not break on. And what you want is this. Pick 3 things that are important for you, whether they're values, where you need your partner to be at a minimum supporting you or participating. Right? Like if you're doing heroin, your partner's going to be against that. So it kind of makes it, right? But so, I mean, like, hopefully, if you're doing heroin, they're not supporting or worst case participating because they're your drug dealer. So anyways, participate. Anyways, moving on. What I'm trying to say is, huh?
You don't date your dealer.
Well, I guess that's true too, right? Or maybe you do because you get, anyways, the point is, here's what I came out with. One of the things I need my partner to support me on is me being an instructor, but I don't need them to be an instructor. So as long as my partner is in this range, somewhere here, I'm fine with them. They don't have to be a teacher. They don't have to teach dance for me to be happy with them, to have a great life with them. So for example, but I need them to dance. At least dance, because, it doesn't matter if they're a beginner or not. I don't care. I'll teach anybody to dance. But they need to participate because for me, it's tied so much into what I do daily that I would love to share that. Another thing that I need my partner to be our cheerleader on and participate is personal development. Because I do that daily, ultimately, as I do that daily, if that's not something that's important to them, at some point, we'll just grow further and further apart. Because I'm constantly challenging the way I think, the way I see the world, what my standards are, and with someone who wants to just be always comfortable, we're going to butt heads. Right? If that makes sense, right? Like, if my partner is unhappy at work, like I've learned this, like if my partner is unhappy at work, there might not be a solution to fix that. But for me, what's important is that we're working in some way, or they're working in some way to improve that, either that relationship or figure out a way to get out of that job. Like, not just accept, okay, well, my boss is crap, so that's what it is. In my mind, that would drive me crazy. I'm like, listen, right? Like, and that's with everything. So for me, that's important. So let me put this up to you. So here is the thing. Here's the kind of the line here, and so.
Think about that?
Huh?
Call me back next week.
Call me back right now. Call you back next week. Think of 3 things with your new partner where you want them to be at least supportive, or all the way up to the point that they're your cheerleader and participant. Participant means like that they are involved in the thing you care about in some way.
I don't know much.
Sorry?
I never thought about it.
I know. That's what we think about it right now. Standards.
This is going to take a while. I'm going to have steam coming out of my ears soon.
Easy. It's easy. Think about your past relationship and some of the reasons why it didn't work out. And you look at your social circle right now of friends who are supportive. What's at least one thing you need? that they need to be supportive of?
What do they need to be supportive?
Yeah.
Oh, so much.
Amazing. Give me one.
Well, I mean, they've got to be supportive of my job and my career.
Okay.
My studying.
Okay.
Yeah, just everything. They need to support me.
Now,
You know.
now here's the thing. Like, in an ideal circumstance, they support everything. Everything hopefully positive. What are the musts? Because part of the support is like support but bear. Bear means that they're kind of, okay, you do your thing, it's fine. Bear is more closer to like passive aggressive, where against is clear, right?
Pavel. Ask Pavel to talk for a while.
No, you're doing amazing. What are you talking about? So what about dance? If your partner, if you start dating someone who says, listen, I don't feel comfortable with you dancing, it makes me feel really jealous. I know I'm insecure about it, but I don't like you dancing. And I know you wanted me to dance, but I don't see dancing for me, but it's going to be a problem if you're dancing and you're going out. Would that be a walk away for you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's probably not just dancing.
Right.
I mean, they're probably concerned about everything. Like, I don't want you going out with your girlfriend. I don't want you going out for dinner. I don't want you hanging out with your cousin. Yeah. So, yeah, I think you're right. They have to be supportive of me, but they got to trust me that I can go do things on my own.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to come talk to you.
Yeah, okay.
And we're going to figure all this out.
Okay.
And then you get to screen. All the guys.
No, I think, listen.
You can screen them all.
Oh, listen, I am happy to do that. But to be honest, I think you just got to trust your gut. I think you've come so far from even like a year ago, right? Like, listen, like,
yeah,
everything you've told me, right? That your standards are much higher. I'm not saying everything is perfect. I think that we should always strive to get better, but you've come far and you know that. You are a queen.
Oh, yeah.
And you deserve to have someone who matches that. Who matches that spirit.
Okay, I'm going to find them.
Listen, you know what?
I'm taking applications.
There you go, gang. There you go. So I'll tell you this. You know what's one great lesson I've learned? So, as long as you're shining brightly, and this is important, unapologetically, with the beautiful person that you are, you're going to draw in the right person.
Alex, have you met me?
I have met you.
Come on.
I've had you in my class many times. And you are unapologetically yourself. And I think that that's important. And it has nothing to do with extroversion or introversion. And it has nothing to do with being a bully or just being loud and obnoxious. You have so much love that you offer everyone around you and care and light. What it comes down to is, here's who I am, and I love me, and the world deserves to see that. Because if the world does not see that beautiful you, they get robbed of that. There's less light when they see less of you. So be unapologetic with yourself. Yeah.
I love that.
And
where's that little love button?
Somewhere there. You're sending the love with your words in your face. That's the most important thing.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
Good.
I don't cry.
I'm disappointed I haven't made you cry yet. God.
It takes a lot.
To be continued. To be continued. I got to get better at what I do. But this is important. This is important. And I think this is a great lesson for everybody. It's like there's so many things I don't care about anymore that I've let go of. And I've let go of my identity to it. Right? So I've talked about this, like whether my partner cooks or not when I was younger. That was a big obsession point for me.
Right.
And I think just knowing the few things that you cannot break on is way more important, because those are the standards by which you want to be treated.
Agreed.
Right? And then there's always room for understanding and forgiveness. But I've learned that, you know, like my circle of care is massive. And so what I've learned is like I care about everyone. I care about everyone. And so part of that is, if I'm with a partner who doesn't care about people, they'll have a hard time understanding me.
Yes.
Right? Like they'll have a hard time understanding me. And so that's a basic thing for me. So as crazy as it is, one of my things used to be, If I can't see them part of the TDS family, I should not date them. Because the people I bring in most are people who are caring and loving and that. So it's like, can this person be my friend? Like, can this person be my friend and I trust them and all this? If the answer is no, then this is a problem, because I'm like, that's not a good start. And that is something you can only look through as you understand yourself better. So definitely, we're going to come back to this, and you're going to write it down, 2 or 3 things, or 5 things, whatever, that are your walkaways, that are like, here are the sign, this is not healthy. Or at the minimum, no, you know what? That's a standard. That's not a minimum. That's a standard. Yeah?
Get my standards. I'll find them.
Exactly. Listen.
They're in my head.
I know.
Just vocalizing them is a problem. On short notice.
Get out of here. Listen, this is just the start. Listen, I think you did such a beautiful job, and I do want to recognize right now that, like, for someone who didn't want to go on and said, "Come on, Pavel, go on," and all the people that are still watching, you got to give her love, because you shared so much about not only who you are and what you went through, but in spite of it, how you've maintained integrity and hope, and have learned more to love yourself through the hard work, and asking for help when you needed it, and whether it's the cookie dough story, or the 2 months of depression and then seeking help, or the dance and what dance means to you, and the WhatsApp groups. This has all been a video call of a woman who, over the last few years, has learned to love herself and come in more into a queen of herself.
Okay, you're really going to make me cry. Bad, Alex.
And I think at its core, and this is what I said, I'm like, what you went through is what we all go through, and it's important to be reminded that we're not alone. That
yes, we're not.
We're not alone. And more than we're not alone, as a concept, it's our pain is not unique. And as you share more, you let other people voice their struggles and their moments when they're weak. If all you're sharing is wins, it's hard for people to feel like they can be open, because courage is doing the scary things in spite of the fact that you're afraid, that you're uncomfortable, that you might fail. Yeah. And you've shown so much massive courage on this video, and I really appreciate it. And I think you did such an amazing and beautiful job. And I appreciate you sharing the light and the care and the love and your energy that I get to see all the time in class, now with everybody. And you made the evening for me and everyone watching, and I appreciate it. And you're not gonna believe this. We've been talking for an hour. Can you believe this?
I do actually believe that.
This is amazing.
I'm waiting for my phone battery to die.
Oh, listen, we just made it right to the end. So let me ask you this: for anyone who is at home, who's feeling lonely and struggling, what are 3 pieces of advice with the coronavirus, all this, that you can give them? What are 3 things that they can do this weekend, tonight, not to feel so alone, isolated, and hopeless?
Well, I think one big thing would be, if you're listening to us, you're doing the big thing. Reach out. Reach out. Even if it's just somebody you don't even know, Tom.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they know one of us. Probably you.
No, not at all. Both of us. That's one. All right.
Yeah, definitely reach out. You know what? Self-care. You've got some time now. Read that book. Learn how to play the guitar. Something. I think that's one thing. Motivate yourself. And remember, you're not alone. We're all in this together. And we will all be back dancing as soon as we can. And when you get there, I know Alex and I both have big hugs for you. So, there's my advice.
That is amazing. And we're 27 seconds away from wrapping up. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for making this an amazing experience for me and everyone else. I love you guys. So tomorrow we have our salsa lesson set. So definitely that's coming. Until then, So that's at, oh my God, it's on the calendar. I'll message everybody. I'll message everybody. I already forgot. At 6 p.m. 6 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Yes? All right, guys. I love you.
Love you.
Bye.